So if you wouldn't mind holding your questions till the end of their lecture, they just feel that way they can just focus on what they're doing. So just write your questions down, and then we'll get to all of them at the end. So I'd like to introduce you to Cindy Margulis. She is the Executive Director of Golden Gate Audubon. She was a docent for 14 years. She has recruited many docents to our program. She is such an asset to our team and super busy lady. I know you're celebrating your, is it the second clip?
100th year.
Sorry, 100th year Golden Gate Audubon. So this year has been crazy, but you've made time to present to us. Dick and Cindy are unbelievable.
Yeah, 100 feet hair.
And she's just such an asset to not only the Zoom but to the docent program. I know you're going to love Dick and her presentation. And then we have Dick Nagle, who has been a docent for going on 10 years.
I recruited him.
Yay! She's actually a goddess. 10-year-old goddess. And Dick is a retired physician. Also has a wealth of knowledge. And he's just one of those people. I love working with you. Docent is a Friday. Dick is a Friday docent of the day. And he just comes in and does whatever has to be done. He's just an absolute delight to work with. And I really enjoy the time that I spend with you. Yeah. So let's get you wired. Are you okay with it being dark on the screen?
I am. Can you see in the dark?
Okay. So you can either wear this around your waist or your neck or across your body. Okay. And you can either wear this around your waist or your neck.
How's that?
And it's with you. Thank you. So one of you are Beyonce and the other one's Katy Perry.
Oh, I think he's going to be Katy Perry.
Just have this around.
Don't expect any dancing, you got to pay extra for that. Can you guys all hear me? Is this good sound?
Yeah.
Good sound? Everybody hear me in the bathroom? Hi, everybody. Okay, cool.
Oh, sure.
You guys have a favorite carnivore here at the zoo? Anybody got a favorite carnivore? Tigger.
Tigers.
Any others?
What was the question?
Favorite carnivore at the zoo? Your cats. Oh, that's good. You got one, Paul?
Oh, lions.
Lions.
Don't forget we're going to get mountain lions, jaguar,
Bears.
bears,
Wolves.
wolves, yeah. Pigs.
Hey, Cindy, you just want to be careful not to pull that speaker all the way around to the back. It's going to sound a little behind you.
Oh, okay. How's that? Is that okay? Okay, cool. Thanks for the audio tips. If I start to talk in gibberish, then you'll know. Give me a course correction.
Do you want me to make a use that? Sure. So it's maybe to have this. I might feel a little bit weird. But weird. If you want me to stand No, you should. You just have to really project hear your voice.
No.
Barely.
So maybe let me go and get another one. I think, do you want to get started or should I do this?
Yeah, I'll get started.
Okay.
So just a reminder, everybody, we've got a ton of material to cover. So please write down your questions and we'll cover them at the end. If you are able to follow along through the whole lecture, your questions may in fact get answered. Okay? So we're here to talk today about carnivores with a capital C, and we're talking about animals in the carnivore order. You guys know what an order is, right? You've covered taxonomy. So we're going to cover as many of the creatures within that order today as possible. And there are some key things that you need to understand about the word carnivore because it can be very confusing. First of all, carnivores that we're going to talk about today, these are all members of the mammal order Carnivora. However, they're not all the carnivores in the world and all that. So let me explain. Carnivores originally evolved from a civet-like creature that was approximately 40 to 42 million years ago is when that order began to evolve. And they resembled today's civet, which you can see in the photograph. That's the original mammal, if you will, for this order. And the most important thing to understand from a taxonomic perspective is that not all carnivores are in fact carnivorous. And not all carnivorous animals are carnivores in the mammalian order carnivore. That's a very important distinction because the word carnivore is confusing. I might say a lion is carnivore. In which sense? In the sense that it belongs to the order carnivore, or in the sense that it eats carnivorous prey. Okay? So that's the most important thing. Now in this order, which evolved, more than 40 million years ago, there are a whole lot of species extant today. There are more than 286 species within this mammalian order, and they are incredibly variable. From the size of a 3-ounce least weasel to an 8,000-pound elephant seal. That is an amazing variety for the same order of creatures. That is exciting, but also a lot of diversity to understand that different members of the order behave differently. In general, the order is divided into 2 suborders, or superfamilies, and those are Feliformia, which are the cat-like carnivores, and there's a whole bunch of those in that group of superfamily. There's approximately 6 distinct families within Feliformia, and these do change in time. Ironically, because of genetic understanding, taxonomic classifications do change over time. So for right now, basically 6 distinct families within the superfamily Feliformia, which is part of within the order Carnivora. And within Caniformia, which are more like the dog-like carnivores, there's 9 families of animals. So quite a big distinction. So there's a cute little photograph here to sort of show you that comparison. You've got cats and dogs sleeping together, but a tiny kitten and a gigantic dog, and that's only the beginning of the diversity, right? So there's a whole lot more. What is distinct about carnivores is that they are very efficient animals, and most, not all, most are very effective predators. They have generally a quadrilateral body plan with bilaterally symmetrical sets of limbs. So the front limbs work similarly and the back limbs work similarly on their body plan. The fascinating thing about the way they move is that most Carnivora species are digitigrade. Do you guys remember what digitigrade means? Yes. Right? They walk on their fingers, or on their tarsals, basically. Although, within the family, again, ursids and procyanids, they're plantigrade. So again, highlighting the diversity and the variability within the order. Carnivores' bodies in general, they may exhibit a lot of optimization for certain types of energetic exertion. So what I mean by that is they may be running, they may be designed for running, they may be built to be able to pounce, they may be built to crawl, or to climb, or to dig, or to swim. There's a huge amount of variability. Some can do many of those things and some can only do a subset of those. But their body plan enables them to be optimized for those kinds of exertion. Jake is going to talk to you about specific elements of the anatomy that are incredibly important, so I'm going to pass it over to Jake.
Say something, say it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, good morning. It's nice to be with you this morning and share the knowledge of the order Carnivora. Cindy and I often present as a team. One of us will be talking at you, one of us will be staring at you, and it works beautifully because nobody falls asleep when we lecture. I apologize because I'm going to change the order of your document. We're presently on page 1, and I'm going to go forward for just a few minutes to page 5, where it says anatomy and physiology. Then after that's completed, we'll go back to page 1 and use your document for the rest of the morning. Anatomy and physiology of the carnivora. You will soon learn that when you give a tour at the zoo, they ask you to base it on a theme rather than giving just straight facts. It's proven that people remember that tour much better if you do that. So I'm going to do that to you right now. I'm going to base my discussion, my introduction of anatomy and physiology on a theme. The theme is why carnivores are such excellent and efficient predators. To accomplish that, I'm going to discuss their skull, their eyes, their whiskers, their tongue, their teeth, their jaw, their paws, and their claws. I have brought 2 skulls today. This skull is that of a lion. It is of the order Carnivora, and it is an animal of predation. You will be able to look at the skull of a carnivora and identify the order very easily. In contrast, I brought another animal, which is an impala, and this is of a different order, the order Arteriodactyla, and it is an animal of prey. The 2 identifying features on the skull of a carnivora are in the back, this prominence of bone, which I'll show you a photograph of in a few moments, this prominence of bone, which is called the crescent keel. And then the other identifying feature is where the orbits are located on the skull. This crest is there for a very purposeful reason. These jaws are very powerful in this animal, and to operate them requires large muscles. The muscles begin by attaching to the back of the skull here. Then they go through this bony arch, and they attach to the angle of the jaw. When those muscles contract, the jaw closes. These animals can generate a pressure, a force of about 1,000 pounds per square inch, where the upper teeth meet the lower teeth. That is a very powerful jaw to do that. Now, by contrast, when you look at the impala, the back of his skull is smooth. There's no crest, because he's a herbivore, and he does not really eat meat. He doesn't have the need for a powerful jaw musculature, and so he doesn't have that keel or crest. Now, the front is also revealing. If you notice the orbits of this animal of prey, they're off to the side.
Excuse me, Dick, would you mind stepping forward while you're showing us that, just so it's in the
Sure.
light a little bit more?
I don't want to fall down.
Or turn the light on.
I'll have the slides to show what you're talking about too. Go ahead.
You're going to turn
I'm
it the
just going to
light.
go forward. No, I'm just going to go forward.
Much better. Thank you.
Again, this is the animal of prey, this is the impala. And in the back, if you run your finger across the back, you don't feel any ridge at all. In this animal, it's very obvious the keel. You see it? And so there's a very definite difference between the two. If you turn the skulls around, you will see another difference. The animal of prey has its orbits off to the side. As contrasted to the lion, the orbits are in the front. It makes sense because this animal is looking for prey. He's trying to kill prey, and so he's looking straight ahead. This animal is really trying to defend himself. He wants to see what's going on behind because the animals of predation come up from behind. So there's an evolutionary reason for the orbits to be where they are. And if you look at any skulls we have in the zoo, you can tell when you have somebody from the order Carnivora.
We got the order juxtaposed on the slide deck.
It's not fancy.
It's kind of frozen.
Question? It's 4 or 5. Yes. That's it. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
When we get ready, we really have
Not yet. Okay, I'm sorry for these interruptions. Since we're talking about the orbits, I would now like to move on to vision. They have wonderful vision for the 3 reasons you're seeing on the slide. They have binocular vision. They have a structure called the tapetum lucidum. They have excess number of rods in the retina. Binocular vision is more than looking with 2 eyes. It is looking with 2 eyes and having superimposed visual fields. Okay.
Looks like if our eyes were over here.
Okay, I'm sorry, are we still plugged in to one another?
Yeah.
So the first thing they have is binocular vision. And binocular vision is more than looking with 2 eyes, it's having visual fields superimposed. And I'll explain that in a moment. I mentioned the second reason is the tapetum. Tapetum is Latin for tapestry, so it's a clear tapestry. And the third reason is an excessive number of rods in the retina.